What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB video. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be having some fun, and we're also going to be stirring up the pot because we're going to go ahead and talk about the MVPs from the first half of 2019. There have been so many monster first halves, anywhere from Mike Trout to Christian Yelich all the way over to Fernando Tatis Jr. We're going to go ahead and give the awards for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, and also our World Series favorites at the very end. So make sure you guys watch until the end, because it is going to be spicy. Also, make sure that you guys have your bells rung, because tomorrow we're going to come out with an even better video. We're going to go ahead and recap the best moments from the first half of 2019. It is going to be a banger, so I'll catch you guys there. But for right now, let's start talking about the AL MVPs. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think should be the MVP. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this was a little bit closer than I thought. We have two candidates, so I'm going to go ahead and present their cases, and then at the very end, I'm going to let you know who I'm choosing. So the first two candidates for American League MVP are going to be Mike Trout and DJ LeMahieu. Let's go ahead and read off Trout's stats. I hope you guys have a pretty good memory, because we are witnessing one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Mike Trout continues to put on a show for us. In 2019, he has a .294 batting average with 64 runs, 22 home runs, 57 RBIs, and a 1,052 OPS. So again, those numbers are just one half of baseball. Usually, if you're an average baseball player, you have about a 4.5, 5 WAR. He has a 5.5 WAR in one half of baseball. Mike Trout is just on another world.
Trout shoots one out to right center field. That ball's hit well. That ball's headed to the bullpen. And that is pulled down the left field line toward the corner. Gone!
Yes, Mike Trout is putting up monster stats, and he deserves to be one of the front runners for MVP in the American League. But DJ LeMahieu is not too far behind. In 2019, he's also been a monster. We're going to read off his stats right now. DJ LeMahieu is hitting an insane .341. He is also leading Major League Baseball with 108 hits. He has 62 runs, which is not as good as Mike Trout, but he has more RBIs with 61, and his OPS is not as high with the 914, but still, a 914 OPS from a second baseman is amazing. So I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below. Now that you've heard the stats for both Mike Trout and DJ LeMahieu, who do you think is going to take the award? Or do you think that there's another person? So for example, it could be Francisco Lindor with an amazing second half. It could be someone like Xander Bogaerts, because in my opinion, I still think that it's Mike Trout's to lose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on over to the National League, and this one is a nail biter. I don't think that you have a right answer right now for the National League, because you have Christian Yelich, who won the MVP last year in 2018, and Cody Bellinger, who is putting up historic stats so far. And it's just, if I'm having to pick right now, I'm going to have to read the stats and then I'll tell you guys. But for right now, it's a toss-up for me. We're going to go ahead and talk about Christian Yelich first, because he did win the MVP last year. So we're going to go ahead and put some respect on his name. In 2019 alone, this is just one half of baseball. I cannot believe that I'm reading this. He has a .328 batting average with 31 home runs, 66 runs, 67 runs batted in, and a 1.137 OPS. And on top of that, Christian Yelich also has 18 stolen bases. So this man is literally on pace for almost 60 home runs and 30 plus stolen bases while driving in 130 plus RBIs. I just cannot believe that he continues to do this. I thought that the second half of last year was going to be his ceiling. He has surpassed his ceiling, which is just incredible. Now we have to talk about Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is actually leading the batting average department if we're talking about Yelich versus Bellinger. So Bellinger is hitting .344 with 27 home runs, 67 runs, 68 RBIs, and a 1.133 OPS. So their stats are pretty similar. He does not have these stolen bases. I believe he has 7 or 8, which is actually not too shabby. He's on pace for about 16 to 17. But if we talk about the batting average, it goes to Bellinger. If we talk about home runs, it goes to Yelich. Runs and RBIs goes to Bellinger. But if I had to give it to one, I'm going to go ahead and shock the world right now. I'm going to give it to Cody Bellinger, because one, he is on the Dodgers, and number two, he's also playing really good with his glove. So for right now, I know this might sound crazy to say, but honestly, I could go either way. For right now, I am going to stick with Cody Bellinger, simply on the fact that his batting average is insane. .344 is nothing to joke around with. Plus, if we factor in his defense, because Yelich doesn't have the best arm and glove, it's still pretty good, but not as good as Bellinger. For right now, I'm going to shock the world. Bellinger is my MVP for 2019. But Yelich, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite players in baseball. He still could win it. I think it just comes down to, if the Brewers are a #1 place team, Yelich might win it. If the Dodgers continue their #1 place team, they'll probably win it with Cody Bellinger. So who do you guys think? Let me know. Try and convince me.
A 1-0 from Lopez. Bellinger hammers the ball.
Moving on over to the Cy Youngs, we're going to go ahead and talk about the American League first. Justin Verlander and Lucas Giolito, those are my top two picks for this year. Verlander is like fine wine. He keeps getting better and better. He has a 10-3 record with 147 strikeouts, a 2.86 ERA, and a .79 whip in 119 innings pitched. So the guy just continues to get better as he ages. I don't really understand how he's done this. It's almost like the second coming of Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson was good, and then he got better as his career aged. So Verlander, I don't know if he's going to win it because Lucas Giolito, he's also been amazing. Giolito has taken advantage of his offense, so he has 115 strikes, a 2.72 ERA to go along with a 1.02 whip in 96 innings. So if we take a look at the stats, Verlander, the only really thing that he doesn't have is the record and the ERA, but they're pretty close aside from that. The strikeouts goes to Verlander, the whip at a .74, that is just nuts. So for right now, I am going to give it to Verlander, but they're pretty much neck and neck, just like Cody and Yelich, they're neck and neck. It's the same thing for the AL Cy Young. But what do you guys think? In the National League, I think that this is going to be a close finish as well because one guy, he's going to have the ERA. The other guy is going to be completely nasty and almost twice as dominant as the other pitcher. The front runner right now to win the NL Cy Young is Hyun-Jin Ryu. This guy, I believe he threw 30 plus consecutive scoreless innings. That's why his ERA is so good. On the season, he has a 1.83 ERA, a .9 whip, and a 9-2 record. And also on top of that, because he's playing for the Dodgers, he's going to get a lot of run support. He's going to win a ton more games. So for right now, if you're saying he is the Cy Young favorite going forward, I wouldn't blame you, but Max Scherzer, he has something to say about that. Max Scherzer has an 8-5 record so far with 170 strikeouts, a 2.43 ERA, and a .99 whip in 122 innings. But the thing that we have to talk about is in the month of June, Scherzer was 6-0 with a 1 ERA and 68 strikeouts. That does not happen very often. I think that's only happened 6 times in baseball to have a 1 ERA, not lose any games, and have almost 70 strikeouts. And half of these starts was with a broken face.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Slider to strike him out.
And the most emotion you'll see from Max Scherzer all season, right?
So before we start talking about Rookie of the Year, I want you guys to let me know who is going to win the AL MVP and Cy Young, and then the same thing for the National League. Who's going to win the NL MVP and the NL Cy Young? Because now it's time to start talking about some rookies. Some of my picks for the American League might surprise some of you because Eloy Jimenez and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., also Michael Chavis, they're not in it as for right now. Again, this is the first half. It could change going forward. But my first pick is Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays. I did not see this coming, but Brandon Lau has 16 home runs, 40 runs, 49 RBIs, and an .862 OPS as a second baseman. That's really good. So he's kind of like a poor man's Chase Utley when Chase Utley was in his heyday. I'm not saying he is, but he reminds me of him. Small guy with a lot of power, and I did not see it coming. Moving on over to the Astros, you guys might be in the same boat as myself. Before this guy was called up, I had no idea that this man even existed. Yordan Alvarez has put the world, the baseball world, on notice. In just 16 games, Yordan Alvarez has 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, and a 1.139 OPS, which is higher than both Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger. Now, I'm not saying that he's better than them, but as an offensive force in the Houston Astros lineup, I'm going to go ahead and say that he might push Lau for the Rookie of the Year, and also I think that he's already surpassed Vladimir Guerrero and Eloy Jimenez. But for right now, I'm going to give it to Brandon Lau with Yordan Alvarez coming at a close second. What do you guys think? The National League Rookie of the Year is going to be so amazing to watch because Pete Alonso and Fernando Tatis Jr., they're showing that they are here to stay, and I cannot wait to see what they do for the rest of their career. Pete Alonso is breaking Major League Baseball records in his first ever season. If you guys did not know, the record for most rookie home runs in the first half, I believe, was 27 by Mark McGwire, or maybe it's even like the entire season. It's either the first half or the entire season. Either way, he passed them. Pete Alonso officially passed Mark McGwire without the steroids. In the first half of 2019, Pete Alonso is an all-star. He has 28 home runs, 64 RBIs, a .992 OPS, and 85 games played. So that is elite production. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep that up. I hope that he will because we've seen it in the minors that this guy is a complete stud. So in my opinion, I think that he does. But for whatever reason, he has a lot of doubters saying that he strikes out too much. In my opinion, Pete Alonso, keep doing your thing. I can't wait to see him in the home run derby. And then also, we have Fernando Tatis Jr. Without the injury, this guy might be the favorite. He was put on the injured list, so he missed quite a few games, but he has made up for it with his stats. He is hitting .330 on the season with 11 home runs, 41 runs, 13 stolen bases, and with the 1,005 OPS and 50 games played. So his OPS is even higher than Pete Alonso. And also, he is the first shortstop, the first rookie shortstop in baseball since Nomar Garciaparra to have 10 home runs and 10 stolen bases before the All-Star break. So both of these rookies, they're doing things that we haven't seen in quite some time. So there is all the stats for my MVPs, my Cy Youngs, and the rookies of the year. If I did not bring up one of the players that you think should be in the voting, maybe it's Xander Bogaerts, maybe it's Rafael Devers, Luke Voit, Gleyber Torres, whoever you think should be in the mix, go ahead and let me know, because now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and predict the AL and NL pennants. In my opinion, I think that the Yankees are going to beat the Astros. So it's going to be the Yankees in the World Series versus the Dodgers. I think that the Dodgers are going to beat the Braves for the NL pennant. So Yankees versus Dodgers. The Dodgers are in the World Series for the third consecutive win. I think with their offense, they're going to get AJ Pollock back. I think with their offense combined with Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs doesn't really count, Hyun-Jin Ryu, I think that they are going to do it. The Dodgers are your 2019 World Series winner. So thank you all so much for watching. If you agree with my picks, go ahead and let me know. And if you disagree, also let me know. I'm all about debate. Thank you all so much for watching, and I cannot wait to watch the second half. I'll catch you guys there. Make sure you subscribe because we have daily recaps. Peace out.